Yeah, welcome to this short video. I'm going to discuss with you about basic Docker commands and containers only. I'm not going to go beyond that. So let's check the first, have a look at the first basic Docker command, that is docker run image. When you have a Docker or when you have an image, when you run this command, it creates a container from an image or from a Docker. If you run this many times, there will be many containers from the same image or from the same Docker image. When you run Docker, then you can pass the name of the container or the ID of the container. You can get the name, the ID. I'll show you how you can do that. I don't want to confuse you for now. So this one starts an existing container that is not running. If it is running, it will be restarted. You see, when you start a Docker, when you start a container, if you for instance, you combine control with C, it will exit. However, it is still running at the background. So you may want to stop it by typing docker stop and the name or the ID of the container. When you type docker ps, this will list only active containers. But when you add -a, let's say it's a docker ps space -a, it will show you all the containers, including the stopped ones. Sorry. So when you say docker remove the name or the ID, you are going to remove that specific container. If you want to remove an image or a Docker image, you need to say docker remove image and the image name. When you say docker images, just say docker images, you'll see all the images, the image name and the ID. So you can either use the name or the ID. So for instance, when you have installed Docker, maybe on Ubuntu, you can say sudo apt-get install docker.io and such. So you can also Google and you install depending with your environment. So for instance, when I say docker run ubuntu, what I'm doing from here, Docker will pull an instance of Ubuntu from Dockerhub. So when I say docker run ubuntu, if it's not there, it will be pulled. If it is there, it will just be launched and a new container will be created. So you need to mark the ID of the container that will be created. In most cases, it will be root at the ID of the container. So you need to mark that, because when you want to push any changes in that container, you'll use that ID and to commit. So when you run a container without this flag, a container will be created and exited immediately. But when you do this, it gives an interactive shell access into the container. So to get started, you need to create an account here, the hub.docker.com, that is here. You create an account. This account, the credentials, like for instance this name ckeidev, is Chris Kibuchi developer, ckeidev. This is the name that I shall use anytime I want to log into Docker. So let's do this. Let's make a new image from the original image, that is like from Ubuntu. If you want to do Java, this one for Java. So when you run this, you'll have it will pull that from docker.com, as I said. So because I used IT, that is interactive, that tells me that I can run any Ubuntu commands inside that container. For instance, now I can say sudo apt-get install node.js. So I'll have a container built upon, I'll have a Docker inside this container built upon the Ubuntu image that it automatically Docker pulled from the hub, from Dockerhub. So after that, I can just choose to quit. You see, this image now should be different from the one that I pulled, because this one I installed something inside. You can even install Apache inside, and then you can exit. Then remember I told you that when you run this command, this that ID that was given to your image, or to your container, sorry. So you need to mark that. In my case, it was this. So I'll say I want to commit and push this change to this one, to this hub, so that in case I can log into another machine and with my credentials, I can pull the same image and deploy in a container. So in this case, what I do commit. M is a message. You can say added node.js. A for our Chris Kibuchi. There is that the container ID. This now you see, you need to give a branch or something like that. So you say ckeidev, that is my username over there, and then I say ubuntu-nodejs. In this case, if I don't do this, if for instance I use Kibuchi or someone else instead of ckeidev, it will automatically not work, because I've not logged into my machine with this name, so I do not have access to the owner's repository. So now if you want to log into Ubuntu to Docker, maybe from Ubuntu or from your terminal, whichever operating system you are using, you say docker login user, that is -u, your username. Sorry, you have to put up with me, I have a flu. So you log in. You just actually to automatically, like, okay, let me do this practically. I will open terminal, say terminal. I'll paste that. So I'll be requested to enter my password. So enter the correct password. I know you want to know, I'll not tell you. Let's wait. Login succeeded. So from there, now I can do anything. I can now, you see, after you log in, now you added here, sorry, you committed here. Now you want to push, so you'll say docker push. If you are used to git, some people say git, I don't care. So you say docker push and the branch, whatever your name, whatever your username and your repository. This is actually the repository, because any changes you make and you push to this repository, they will appear there with the word latest. That is basic enough. Now if you want to know more, like you'd want to learn how to install Docker, just Google. It's so simple. Now I want to take you now to the most interesting bit, where now you do have a REST service, and you can actually deploy it more than 10 times, different containers, same application. When you move on, you learn more advanced, you do learn about Kubernetes. This way now you can now do the scaling. You can have the same port but scaled, like for load balancing and such stuff. So now let's go to Spring Boot. Yeah, for a Spring Boot, you can also Google and learn about Spring Boot. This way you just have one jar file, you deploy, you run it, it will come with Apache and all those stuff. Like you can run one jar and you have your service up. So follow this link, you'll get a detailed tutorial to get you started on Spring Boot and Docker. Mind you, this is very political. From here, you see, they are showing you some two ways of doing it. You can use Gradle and you can use Maven. Gradle is still not mature, by the way. It's not mature, so you might land into problems when you follow this route. So for this tutorial, just follow Marvin, you'll be good. Now if you go through this, it's just showing you how to build a simple application, but you'll have gotten it from you see, this a small application that they have it on Git. You just pull, just clone. If you don't have Git, you have to install. So you download Git, you clone the application, then you can change this stuff. Hello world, you can put here anything. You can even add some more classes. So like for instance, in my case, I got that. I just chose not to be hello Docker world. I added something, be happy. But I got some other. I added some other REST service. You see, I have a class. So if you need to do persistence and whatever, you can just make this an entity class. Have a controller. So you see, in this case, mine is from home. You go to greetings, pass your name, and you'll get it back with a message, hello XYZ. From this tutorial, you're going to copy everything as is, unless you want to add more classes like this, but you'll copy the whole of it, inclusive of this Docker file. This Docker file, you need to come and place it in your home directory of your project, not like the entire, but let's see, you could have initial, you could have complete, you could have different versions, but these are full application. So you see that inside it, that's where I came and placed my my Docker file. You can learn more. This one simply says that you're copying this one, you're building it upon OpenJDK Alpine from the Docker Hub. You copy, and then this is adding the build whatever is built from your application, but renaming it to app.get. And then when you at the entry point of your of your Docker, when you run your Docker, because you renamed it to app.get, that is what will be executed. So that's just basic. I can share this code if you so really want it. You can just comment there and say I need it. I'll just send you, or I can even upload it. Anyway, so see, my main reason of having this tutorial is to show you how you can have different containers, and you understand how these containers works. For instance, the IP of this machine is the wireless IP is the local host, that is the loopback. So see, now if I have a like, I'll actually do it from here. I will start from the command to build this on my POM file. I can choose just to build. Then after building, I can use the git push command that I showed you earlier. It was somewhere here. I can do this, but I can also compile, and in my compile command, I'll compile and push to my branch. Remember one key thing, sorry, I forgot to show you one key thing. This is very important. In your properties, this is where you need to put your name. From that tutorial, just replace whatever they put here with your name. This is where we are pushing to git, not git, in this case git Docker Hub. So my command is, after the goals are you build and push. Something also you need to be keen on, this in the tutorial there is this it's not this command, it's in my history, so let me just get it. So history, history grep something to do with Marvin. Yeah, Marvin. this one. So let me not that so history, so simple. Go back to anyway, let's go to the tutorial and pick it. This is it. Good. This is what I want to show you. You can mess here. You do not have to copy the entire stuff. Copy up to there. Then in your form, you know the name of your application is this. You see, it's that. Then you can add the version stuff. Now you see in their tutorial they are adding the version. You can also copy. If you're lazy like me, just copy. And now you build, and let's see what will happen. Now it's building. I pray that we do not land into any bug for now. Let's hope for good news. Start update. Build successful. Perfect. Spring Boot stuff, compiling, copying. Oh, it's already starting. Now you see, it's actually gone to an extent of even having the Spring Boot started and the application is running. Now if I come here to my local host and then I go 8080, I should get, oh, hello Docker, welcome, be happy, you are here. I can say greeting. If I don't put anything, tell me hello world. If I say like name is equals to Chris Kibuchi. Wait, Kibuchi. You see, so now let me show you now something from there. You see, I've cancelled that. It's gone because it ran just from my machine. Now let's have it from an image. Now I told you, if I say Docker and then I say images, you see all these images were created, like this was created 2 hours ago, 2 hours ago. Yeah? But there's a command we need to run so that from the image that was built here we can have a container. You see, we want to containerize. That's where now we're using this stuff. After that, now you can make a Docker image. From the Docker image, you're good to go. You will keep using this now. Let's hope we shall not land into issues. You're good. It's happening. This one now is using this to make a it's going to make a Docker image. First time in. Yeah, first time in. The image will be built as latest. It's even telling you here as latest, but it's being built upon this. So the first time you do this, if you do not have this image in your machine, it will be pulled also. Yeah. These are intermediates, so just ignore them. I found that these ones already exist. They are from the OpenJDK. Let's go. First, it's pulling. Perfect. Now, if I do the same command, Docker images, the last one we saw it was 2 hours ago. What the hell? What the hell? Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. No. Let me show you one command that I left out. This is a final command. Now we already have this. When I run this command, let me explain this. This port is a port that the image will run on the container that will be built here. Okay, let me actually do something. This thing seems the same. So the reason as to why we did not get Docker images, the reason as to why we did not get nothing here is because the content is the same. There's nothing that changed. But if you added that to complete the process, you get you'll get 2 seconds ago or something like that. But now I want to show you something. I want now to Spring Boot. What I'm saying is that this one is running on port 8080 on my machine here. So if I say 8081 and leave it as 8080, on the container it will be running on the port 8080, but on my machine 8081. So this command I can also share with you. If you omit the Spring profile active and the stuff and this command, it will run. It will not be able to map these two. This one will not be mapped, so you'll have a container that is running, but you cannot reach it because it's not mapped to any port in your machine. I want to check how many containers we have and how many are active. Docker PS. That should show the only active containers. Currently we have none, but if I -a, I get the container that was built 2 hours ago. Now let me show you. Let's start the service. Let's start the container. You'll see what will happen. So now this will add another container. Anytime you say run, you are adding many containers. Anytime you say run a container. So you see this one has started an application and we can find it here. It's back. If I cancel this, like I quit, I come here, it's still up. What happened? Now let's go here and I say Docker PS all. You see this one is exited, the one that was ran 2 hours ago. The one that has been up for 3 seconds, it's up on this spot, mapped to this spot. Do you see that? So I want to do something else. You see the image did not change. We picked the latest one, the one that we did 2 hours. But when you change something and then you build you get. So I want to do something here. I want to start another another container, but in this case I'll use this port. I want to use port 8081. Remember, this is the local port. That other one is the port on the container. So it has started. If I do this, it's up. No, sorry, that's the old one. I change to 8081. I can still get it. Wow. Now I want to stop the other one. Like for instance, I want to say Docker. Now even if I say PS, I'll get all of them because they are all running. If I say A, this one that is dead. So I got to see PS2 A all. Now I want the one that is running on port 8080 to die. Stop and have this remain. I'll copy the container ID and I say Docker stop that container. If I say Docker PS only one that is running on 8081. If I say Docker PS all, I'll get 2 dead and only 1 running. So now for 8080 dead, 8081, wow, it's up. Now that's good. Now you already know from this image, from this Docker image, let's say Docker images, From this image you can have, this is a Docker, so you can have as many containers, million, and any number you will want to have. So now let's say I'm on a different machine. I want this, my actually this is pushed the first time you run from your terminal. It will push to your account, by the way. Initially this was not here. Good. So now I want to show you how you can have the same container, the same Docker in a different wise terminal. Let me do this on a different video. However, you need to SSH your machine, have a server online, so grep SSH so that I can SSH my machine. Ask me for password. Yes, like that. So you have to check. You remember when you're configuring, you have to be sure that Docker version can run. If you can't do Docker version, there's a command you can do when you are root, and you can add yourself to, it's called history. In history, I got grep use Kibuchi 1. I should get something. Yeah, you should add it like this. You say so you need to sudo @gmail to Docker group Docker, then your username, like say Kibuchi 1 or whatever. So that way what you do, like I can actually no, I want to see Kibuchi 1, and see now I can still say Docker version. If you can't do this, my friend, no, it's a problem. So now what do I want to do? Okay, do history grep Docker like that. I want to get good. As I said, you need to log in. You need to log in first to your machine, to Docker. You do you can pull, you can do Docker pull. Like for instance here I can say Docker pull ck. You see, let's first check Docker images. I only have ck, ubuntu or whatever, ubuntu, and these ones are not mine. These are from the Dockerhub. This is the only one I have here. So I could say this just like git, Docker pull, your username, and repository. Now repository, I have no time to cram, so I'll copy. I can type copy now. I'll show you how I'll copy. You can copy like that. Have it there. So it's using the flag latest. Let me show you. This is the first time I'm doing this, hey, and it's working. So you can say Docker images. Good, we got it there. Now I want to use my lovely command here. Let's first do Docker ps to get containers. No container is running. Docker ps all. We have all these hello world, oh, ubuntu, none is up. So when I run my command, I'm hoping it will work. This is the first time I'm doing on this box. Oh, it's already started. So now even if I killed this, I just need to know the IP of this machine. Oh, it's not Windows. Here. So I can just copy this IP, come here, replace 8081. It will not work because it's not there. I try 8080. There you go. You see, I can have multiple. I did not install any OS, I did not install any web server, and it's there, up and running. If I say docker ps, I'll get my image and my container ID. It's been up. I'm not gonna stop this to remain up there. Can keep trying. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed my first video. I've never done any video from this laptop and in the manner I did. So throw your comments. I know I was coughing. Next time I'll be okay. Bye. Enjoy. Kubernetes coming.